Hey everybody, what's up? I hope you all are doing well. Today we have Teresa here, and her and I are going to give you a news update on Italy. And we're going to cover what's required for entry right now, security measures, and transportation information. But first, I just want to give a warm welcome to Teresa. Thank you for coming here and being here with us. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm here in Italy. Hello, everyone from Italy. I'm really glad to be here. I think it's a great community you're creating, Kayla. Thank you.
Thanks, Teresa. Teresa, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you're from, where you are now, where you hope to go.
Okay, so I'm from England. I actually come from England, but too many years ago, I went to India. I spent a year in India, and I then went to Nepal, where I met my partner, who is Italian. So we met in Nepal up the Himalayas, which was quite an amazing place to meet. And he's Italian, and so we've ended up here in Italy. We've been here for a couple of years, and we've got two bilingual boys, little boys, who keep us very tired. But I've traveled a lot in the past, and I really hope to travel again in the future and show my boys the world as well.
Yeah. How old are your boys, and what languages do they speak?
So they are 3 and 9, and they speak Italian and English both fluently. And we're also learning Spanish. So my 3-year-old decided he wants to learn Spanish. So we're learning Spanish too, me and him together.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
I'm going to stop.
Okay.
So I learn Spanish, but I teach English. So being here in Italy, I have the opportunity to teach English. So I teach English to very young children. I have a Facebook page if you want to join it. It's Amazing Books for Children. So anyone who wants to find me on there.
Very nice. Thanks, Teresa. Amazing Books for Children. We'll check it out. Cool. What a great thing to help kids be learning English. So, okay, Teresa, tell us exactly where you're located in Italy.
So I live in a city called FORLI, which is in kind of the northeast, slightly south of Venice. It's a city. It's quite big. It's the biggest in this local area. And it's, have you got it on a map? I think you've
Is it here? Can you see it?
No, I can't see it.
No?
Yes. Okay. Yes,
Cool.
that's us. That's where we are. So we're not far really from Florence. It's about a couple of hours from Florence over the mountains, which is where we hope to move into the mountains one day. That's our long-term plan. There's the Apennine Mountains that go down. You can see down the center of Italy. And we're about an hour from the mountains, and then the other side of the mountains is where Florence is.
I see that. Okay, here's the mountains. Here's you guys. FORLI and Florence on the other side. You want to move to this mountain range in the middle?
That's the aim. That's the destination. Yep.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you said FORLI is it a big city, a small city? Kind of what's it like?
A big city. Yeah, it's quite an old city. It's not necessarily on the tourist trail, but there's some interesting things. We're also very close to another city called Cesena, and Cesena is also a very beautiful city. Lots of things to visit in Cesena as well. So Emilia-Romagna, which is the region, isn't usually a very visited place by English tourists. There's very few English-speaking tourists. They get a lot of German tourists come down to the coast. But so, yeah, it's a kind of hidden treasure. If people want to come to Emilia-Romagna, I definitely recommend it.
Wow, cool. Is it like more natural, or?
So because we're in the city, obviously, you've got the kind of city attractions and museums and galleries and things. Usually, I tell you, usually this is how things are. And then up towards the mountains, if you head inland a bit, it's just beautiful. It's just amazing. I love nature, and yeah, it's a different mountain range. So people kind of think of the Alps when they think of Italy, maybe. And there's the Apennini, which come all the way down, and it's really beautiful area. So much recommended.
Much recommended.
And if people need a tour guide, by the way, my partner is a nature tour guide, so get in touch.
Wow, that's
He does
great.
walks in the mountains and does guided walks in the mountains. Yeah.
Wow, does he have a website or any? Maybe we
He
can put
does-
some contact information.
Yeah, I'll. People can contact me.
Cool. Yeah, perfect. That's great. Great to know. And how far? So you need to drive to the mountains if you want to go, or?
I think they are buses, and there's a beautiful train. You can take a train from a city called Faenza, which is just near here, and it goes up over the mountains and down into Florence, and that's just such a sweet little train ride with amazing views. That's a definite if people were looking for something different. We did that literally at the start of the lockdown, before they brought in the restrictions. It was a trip out, and then I think the next day they shut the borders. So we did that train ride. I'm glad we did.
Wow. Oh, I'm glad you guys got that in right before everything happened. Was that in February did the lockdown start, or in March for Italy?
It was the end of February. Yeah. So and it's been pretty strict lockdown. Obviously, given that it kind of all kicked off here before it spread. In terms of Europe, it was the first place. So they just brought in really strict restrictions, and in terms of where you can go, what you can do, everything closed. And the schools closed, everything closed for about 3 months, 4 months. Yeah.
4 months. So March, April, May, June,
July, and then it started to open up again in the summer. Some things opened up in the summer for tourism, really.
Really, for tourism?
Well, the country depends on tourism so much. So there was an element, you could go to the beach, you could do certain things. They found ways to open up with restrictions for the summer. Yeah.
But have things tightened back down since then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much so. Yeah. So since sort of September, and then coming towards Christmas, October, November, there've been different stages of lockdown, and it's got more strict again. Yeah,
coming in waves. Okay. Yeah, this is the unpredictability of everything, right? It's just like things open up and then they close down. We would never know.
Yeah.
So let's dive into what is required for entry to Italy right now.
Okay, so from what I understand, obviously it's dependent on the country you're coming from. There's different levels, but there's no non-essential travel to Italy. So, and they don't see tourism as essential. So basically,
even if we think it's essential, even if we feel like our travels are essential, they don't.
Exactly. It's kind of, you have to have a very good reason, maybe for work purposes, and it has to be shown, and you have to write a self-declaration. You have to, if you do travel, you've got to have results of a test, obviously, and you can get fined and things if you're caught breaking any of those or not having all those. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so basically, no tourism is allowed in Italy right now. You cannot come to Italy for tourism. It's only for essential reasons, and you have to provide documentation and COVID test and quarantine. And Teresa and I will provide more links to information on that, updated as it changes. So we'll provide links so you can see that information as it changes. So
obviously check your country, because it might differ, but the kind of coverall is that no non-essential travel.
No non-essential travel. Okay, thank you, Teresa. Sorry, guys.
But what I want to say is that even if you did come, everywhere's closed, and like museums, I think one of the big museums in Florence I heard just opened yesterday. Then there's restrictions on how you go in. You have to book in advance, and so you would have to like ring up or book in advance, where you would just normally just turn up. So Italian bureaucracy can be quite complicated, and I wouldn't envy at somebody trying to figure out how to visit, attractions and things like that at the moment, because it's kind of even more complicated than usual. If it's open, even. So.
Yeah, not worth it. Not worth it to try and go through all those hoops to it's way too complicated.
Save your money and just wait a bit. And
just wait a bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe a year, 2 years. Just kidding. I don't think we know. I don't think we can say. Okay, so Teresa, tell us a little bit about security measures. Are people wearing masks, hand sanitizer, taking your temperature? How's that?
So masks are meant to be worn everywhere, basically, apart from in private homes. I think if you're doing exercise, you can do exercise on your own out on the streets and things. And I don't know, like cycling, things like that. I think you can not wear a mask. I, at least personally, when I'm cycling on my own, I don't wear a mask, but on the whole, everybody has masks. Obviously, entering into any shops or anything like that, you need to be wearing a mask. They offer the hand sanitizer at kind of every opportunity. And sometimes they'll take your temperature, depends on places, but it's kind of, I don't quite understand the policy on taking your temperature. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but yeah. It's interesting, like bars and things like that have been at different levels of restrictions. So sometimes you can go into a bar, you can buy something to take away, but you can't consume it on the premises. Depends what level you're at. So different regions of Italy have different levels. So they've got like a system of red, orange, yellow, green, I think. So at the moment, I think we're in orange. And that means, I think that's where the bar restrictions are, that they can't serve. Oh, no, I can't remember what it is. It changes all the time. But I think it was red over Christmas and the bars were closed, and then it was orange and you could go in, but you couldn't consume on the premises. So even things like that, you want to come to Italy, you want to enjoy the bars, go and get an ice cream, you want to do all those things.
Yeah. Well, so when you say bar, do you mean like a restaurant, a cafe? Any place you're going to eat? Can you go to a place and eat inside, or
it depends? I think they're allowed to open at lunch times, but not in the evening. Something like that. So you'll go in with a mask, and obviously when you're sitting down at the table, you can take your mask off. Yeah.
Okay. And then what about like clubs, like nightclubs or something like that?
I think they've closed them all now. I think they opened them up over the summer again, but I'm pretty sure they've been closed now.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't go to clubs.
I kind of hope so.
I don't go to clubs anymore because
I really kind of do hope like clubs everywhere close down. It just sounds like a what's it called, like a petri dish.
Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting. We were talking earlier that there's the Carnivale celebrations coming up. South America, I imagine that's quite big.
Yeah.
And last year, it was just before the lockdown, and there's so many people on the street with all the, the things with the people on dancing and stuff like that. And we were just saying that's just like the Italian word is assembramento. Okay, so gatherings, assembramento are not allowed. So that was just like the assembramento. So this year, I don't think there'll be carnival gatherings.
No assembramentos. Yeah, what a bummer, but I guess we'll have to wait on those. So let's talk about transportation information. We already touched on it a tiny bit, but I mean, how's the transportation there? Is it open? Like, is that train that you were talking about open?
So I don't know that train specifically. Generally, I think they are open. Like there are buses running and things in the city and stuff like that. There's like distancing on the buses, and yeah, you can get on. The thing is that you can't travel between, not only between regions. So I'm in Emilia Romagna. We're not allowed to go into like Toscana, into Tuscany, where Florence is. We're not allowed over the border unless you've got very good reason. So between the regions, there's no travel. But also in the kind of higher stages of lockdown, which is what we're in the orange category, we're not allowed to go from a smaller region, like so our comune, which is like the local council area. We're not allowed to go into another local council area without a good reason either. So buses that travel between, even between cities, between here and Cesena, which is like 15-20 minutes, there are buses, but I think you have to have good reason to be on them, and you have to have a declaration. You have to have signed a certificate that you carry with you to say why you're traveling and stuff.
Okay. Sounds pretty shut down.
Obviously,
okay.
It's different areas, but most of the country, I don't think there's any green areas. I might be wrong, but I don't think there's any green, orange, lots, a couple of red areas, possibly a couple of yellow areas, but I think most of the country is on orange at the moment.
Oh man. Okay, Teresa, thanks. And what was I going to ask you? Oh yeah, how have the people of Italy been affected by what's going on?
Okay, so speaking of someone who's been here for 2 years, who isn't Italian, but my kind of observations, it's really interesting. It's something that you think of when you come to Italy, is this Italian culture of, hugs and kisses, double kisses. Oops, sorry. Okay, so yeah, this is the image you have maybe of Italy, and it was true. It was the case, when I used to visit before we moved here, and also when we moved here, people will like kiss you to greet you and things like that. But since COVID, there's the mask and there's the distancing, and it's just really struck me how much it's affected the culture of the contact and physical contact, and it's really interesting, and in some ways it's really sad, and I really hope that it goes back to how it was.
Yeah, me as well. I hope people can just feel free again and kind of regain that cultural sense of being together and doing their normal greetings and being themselves. So I think, it does change the culture of a place, just like having mask on. It just kind of puts up like a barrier. So, okay, that's good. It's not good, but it's good that you're sharing.
I don't want to leave you on a downer, but Italy's here, and it's gonna be there for you guys. Like, just wait, hang on a bit, and we'll all get through this. I think it's similar in many countries. It's just it's a bit of a waiting game at the moment, but Italy's here, and we're looking forward to having you to visit.
Yeah. Okay, Teresa. Is there anything else you want to tell everybody before we sign off?
No, that's great. Thank you so much, Kayla.
Thank you, Teresa. Just so everybody knows, so all of you know, we're going to put a couple of links in the description so that you guys can get more information about Italy. So if you are thinking about it, you can at least see the status updates and kind of how things are going. So we're going to give you as much information as we can. And thank you, Teresa, for giving us your time. I know a lot of us are interested in Italy, and we're so sad about the current state, but hopefully one day and everything will be normal again, and we can explore this beautiful country.
Yeah.
Okay, Teresa, we'll see you later.
Bye bye. Bye bye.